So here's my survival tip for the day: how to cook bacon and eggs with an axe. Right, so this is that squirrel. You can't see it. I've gutted it. Now I'm going to fry it over the embers in a frying pan. So the day after the night before, I left this on to stew, let the fire burn down. Now as you can see, that meat, it's good meat, it's quite tender. Look how tender that is. That's basically falling off. So I'm going to strip that of all the good bits of meat. And then I've got all these ingredients which all need using up. The carrots are on the way out. A lot of these I'll probably just ditch. Worm I've got in them, or some fly I've got in them, and laid eggs. So in fact those tomatoes are probably gone. The chilies are good, courgette's good, and the onions need using up, and I've got garlic that needs using up. I've also got some peri peri sauce over there, some chopped tomatoes, and some red kidney beans, which I want to get used up as well. Not really need to get them used up, it's just they've been sitting around for a while. So I thought, squirrel chili. So let's have a go at making squirrel chili. First job, back in the tin with the ferro rod. Well, I stripped all the meat off. To be honest, it didn't smell amazingly appetizing. It smells alright, it doesn't smell bad, it's just not like the smell of steak. Let's be honest, it ain't steak. But with that meat and all the other ingredients, I reckon I'll be able to make a nice curry. And so, rock and roll. Got onions, garlic frying off in there. I'm going to chuck a few more onions in, I think, and then just start adding all the ingredients. Hold on, we've got carrots, onions, garlic, squirrel meat. And there's the rest of the carcass down there. I'll just chuck it out for the cat. The cat will scoff at it. Look at these chilies, they're beauties. These are organically grown on Dartmoor. And, I've been visiting friends, and they packed me up with a load of stuff. And the courgette. It's just falling on the floor. Nice organically grown courgette. Booty. Alright, that's all the ingredients in. Now I just got to keep on stoking up the fire and let it simmer for about 2 hours. So I'll just put some more wood in. Not sure if I've shown this yet, but this is a storm kettle or a Kelly kettle, and I've just got embers from the other fire and put in a load of this stuff that I used to like for tinder. Now I've got all those embers in there, so it's just a case of chucking twigs in and sit back and wait for it to catch on fire, pretty much, because it will do eventually. Squirrel stew. Ooh. Squirrel chili, as it is. Well, yeah, I put a whole one of those chilies in. And it's actually quite chilly. Like the grease you get off a cheap pork sausage. That's what squirrel tastes like. Cheap pork sausages. Ideal. I worked out what it tastes like. It tastes like greasy rabbit. It's all about preservatives and crap.
Formaldehyde inside our minds, they ate us out from the inside. Some find it through a 10-pound note, but they put it in your can of Coke. Sulfites in wine preserve our minds, while some can't cook or read from books. Now we will see what science tells, or will you deny and cast your spells on a pickled mind? A pickled mind, a pickled mind, a pickled mind, a pickled mind, a pickled mind. It's a pickle. But don't let them pickle your toes. Don't let them pickle your toes. Don't let them pickle your toes. Don't let them pickle. Now the hypocrites will give you pills, and then they say they'll cure your ills. Then they'll tell you what to think, but onwards we march to the brink of a pickled mind. A pickled mind, a pickled mind, a pickled mind, a pickled mind, a pickled mind. It's a pickle. But don't let them pickle your toes. Don't let them pickle your toes. Don't let them pickle your toes. Don't let them pickle. Your toes.
Okay, you won't be able to see it from here. But there's a deer. Where's my finger? Right there. I'm gonna try and stalk it. And, there's his game trail. Must have walked his way quite a lot. Or a few. Because there have been humans down here for fucking ages. I've just come back to my shack to see the condition of it. I'm not walking very quietly at all. But anyway, I'll get to that gate and I'll turn it back on. It was feeding off those low branches there. It was right next to me. Basically, when I walked into this field, I couldn't turn my phone on quick enough. It was literally there. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20. It was about 20 paces away. With a rock. It brings home the whole thing, like where do we get our meat from? Because I was just walking up the lane there, and it's early in the morning. It's like I thought I'd I'm painting a boat, and I thought, right, if I get up early, sort of 5 o'clock, I can do 2 hours, go back to bed at 7 and wake up at sort of 10. 11 and I'd be alright. And the boat's painted. Anyway, so it's really early in the morning, I'm walking up the lane. There's a rabbit in front of me. It hasn't got Mixie, for sure. Well, I sort of startle it, and it starts running. So I think, right, I'm going to run after it. Chase it up the lane, and it dives into a hole. But it ain't a hole. It's like a bit of a hole. Like, it's not very deep. So his legs are sticking out the bloody hole. Now at that point, what do you do when you're living in sort of primitive hunter-gatherer type existence? Well, I'm not really. Lidl's is only down the road, but yeah, so I grabbed it by the legs, by the back legs, and it's just stiff as a board then, right? And I'm right by the barn, so I go and get an axe and just use the blunt end and take it out. And it felt weird, man. Like, because I still had it by the legs, and yeah, it's quite weird, man. Like, you hit it once, and you know you fucking hit it well, and it should die, right? But you have to hit it maybe twice, maybe 3 times, because I think when things die, however hard you hit them, they go through the throes of death. The muscles just start spasming, and all sorts of weird shit starts happening. Yeah, it's just gone into rigor mortis now, so I'll start skinning it out in a minute. It'll be easier, because it will snap. And the skin will come off easy. It should do anyway. But I've never killed anything like that. I've never killed a mammal. It's actually like, I've killed fish, hundreds of fish. But it's weird just to have it. Like, I could have just let it go and let it live. But I had to understand something. Like, where our meat comes from, you know what I mean? We don't even realise. You see a chicken leg, it's just a fucking chicken leg, right? Covered in fucking batter. You go out for dinner, you have chicken breast, or, I don't know, rabbit soup, or... Like, seafood I can deal with, because I've been a fisherman. So fish is easy, I can kill fish all day long, because I don't know, I'm sort of immune to it. But rabbits, I didn't feel so bad about the squirrel either, when I basically ran the squirrel over on my bike by accident, and killed it. So I thought I'd eat it, which is already in this episode. But that was now 6 months ago. It was in October, and we're in June. So that's 9 months ago, right? But I haven't uploaded that video, that's on this video. But I'm just shaking. I haven't even shown you the rabbit yet. And there it is. Side of an axe, and yeah, it jibbed a bit, but shit happens, dude. I'm fucking shaking, man. I'm not really good at this, you know what I mean? I'll go get my axe and take that. Sorry, dude. Right, so this is the point I wanted to get to. There's the skin, and the anus is still attached to that bugger there. All the guts are down there in a bag. I'm going to go and throw that in the river in a minute. I'll take a bag down. And this is the stomach, I think. That's the stomach. And so if I pinch the esophagus, not the esophagus, yeah, whatever you eat down, shit, I don't know, that tube there, and tear it, then none of the shit in the stomach is going to be able to taint the meat. And if I do the same with the arse end, grab it as far down as I can in there, up to the fucking anus, pinch it, and then just tear it out, tear that one out. I've got water over there, rinse it. Oh, but I'll take the heart and kidneys out, so I'll just do this. I'll have to put the camera down. Right, so I've got the guts in the sack, all the poop chute and everything in there. I'm yet to rinse this out, but I'm going to remove the lungs, I believe that's a kidney, and there'll be a heart in there. Put them to one side. My thing is, because this is a wild animal, first of all I'm going to fry it, and then I'm going to boil it, because I don't know if this has got any bacteria or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be double precautious with this meat, and then I'm going to skin it of all, then I'm going to remove all the meat, leave the bones, probably burn the bones, and then make it into a nice rabbit stew with some carrots and... Alright, so I've made the fire. I'm just sterilising the pan a bit, and I'll put the grill on in a minute when that goes down. But yeah, here's something interesting. These are all pieces of metal that have come out of my fire pit. I think they're awesome. So I'm going to carve some of them, get a file. I've got a set of files, and just file them up into weird things. Like that one there. Almost looks... I don't know, man. Can't get in focus properly. That's a good focus. That's pretty cool, right? And it's kind of polished up now, quite nicely. It's just come out of the fire pit. So what I do is sometimes when I have tins of beer and stuff, I just chuck them in the fire. And that fire pit, I haven't cleaned it out in about a year. So there's probably quite a few tins of beers gone in that fire. I've ended up with these awesome aluminium sculptures, and I love them. Now I'm going to do some research, and I can even break this up, not sure what that is, and melt it down again into, I don't know, a shape. So I make a clay mould with a shape in. Maybe I'll do like a spiral, something, like a spiral thing. Put it in the fire and fire it. Once it's fired, take it out, or once it's in the fire, put a load of this stuff in to it, break it all up into bits, and then cover it over with ash, so it starves it of oxygen. And it shouldn't oxidise; it should just melt, because aluminium will burn, I think, if it oxidises. So it's going to be an interesting. I'll have to do some research on it. But that's going to be interesting. I can make like a, I don't know, an aluminium pendant, or I don't know, something, or like a sculpture, you know, because that looks like a female form, right? It's quite sensual. If you take the weird black globular bit off, that's quite a sensual form. Looks like looking from behind or something. So yeah, I mean, I could do something with these bits. Very interesting. Just found them in the fire. Okay, there it is. I've loaded the fire up. Found a pepper in the pantry. So I need some rosemary for my cooking over here. Last year when I was down here, I planted a rosemary plant in with all this lamium. And it's still there. I just thought of it and thought, oh, might do me a bit of rosemary. I'm not going to go mad on it because it struggles to grow down here because there's not much light. But there, that's enough, isn't it? Oh, and it's pretty strong. So I planted this lamium. There was only 3 little sprigs of it in there. It's come on lovely. Here's the roof of the shack. This is mallow. Planted that. This is a juga, which I bought from the garden centre. There's a plant, just one, and now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20. This is another type of a juga, which I got from Rick on Dartmoor, which is amazing. And I've also planted up some ferns on the roof, which have taken and they're growing, so that's all good. And then there's also some pulmonaria, which I planted last year, which is taken. And they look lovely. They look really healthy there as well. They look happy. Then there's some more lamium down here. Got 2 different types. This one with the stripe down the middle, and then the white leaves. And these white leaves, right, in the moonlight, they glow. Right, so I want to have loads of this growing all round, you know, all up here, all those white leaves. And then when the moon comes out from up that sort of direction on a full moon, you get the moonlight casting on it and it will sort of glow up. Another thing I've decided to chuck in my stew is some stinging nettle leaves. I remember watching something on QI where a load of trappers are out and we was here trapping. Got me some rabbit, ate rabbit for the rest of my life. Anyway, these chaps ate rabbit and that's all they ate. They didn't have any greens or anything like that, and they ended up getting rickets and bloody scurvy or something because they weren't having enough nutrition. So 6 nettle tops in there, give them a stir. So I just dug up those spuds over there, and I've got 5 little spuds. Which ain't a lot, but it's a bit of spud in it, and it'll just thicken that sauce up a bit. So I'm just going to chuck them in as well. So there it is, just come back after doing a bit of work up there to a lovely rabbit stew. How's it taste? Good. All the veggies add that sweetness to it. It means another pinch of salt, and that's basically good. So I'm well happy with that. Pretty damn good. Rabbit stew.